Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Starflight Creations, where I talk about my cross stitching. This is going to be a really fast video because it's only been a little over a week since I did my last one, and this is just because today, August 1st, I am starting my August stitching game, and so I want to clear everything else out before I get to that. So I'll talk a little bit about the game at the end, just that way if you've already seen it and watched my last couple of videos, you don't have to go through it again. So I will show what the projects will look like. I won't be showing photos of where you saw them last, just because a lot of them either are a new start or there's not that much progress. And I just kind of want to get through this pretty fast. So the first thing that I was working on was the Summoner by Autumn Lane stitchery. Here's what it will look like when it is finished. So here we go. Last time that you saw this, it had 44 stitches, and while I don't have a photo, it's going to be really obvious of what I did and what I did not, because last time all of the light blue stitching for the lightning was what I had done, and so this time I went in and took and put all of this black in, which was 328 stitches, bringing it up to 372 stitches of 26,354, bringing it to 1.4%. And this is on a 14 count fabric that I hand dyed. So this did get this one over the amount that it stops counting against me for the RPG character creator game by put together by Michael from Uplift Stitches. However, it has not hit the 500 mark yet, which I need for Whip Go, which is put on by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. So I still have 128 stitches to go there before I can put my money in the box and check that one off. Next, I have a new start. So this is Gengar by Maria Diaz. It's out of a little Pokemon officially licensed cross-stitch box I bought at Costco. And at my new job, one of the people there's favorite Pokemon is Gengar. So I said I would make it for him. And so I have put 490 stitches into that. And it's on a 14 count white Ada. Everything is just being used as provided by the kit, except for the purple in the skin of the Gengar, which is coming up blue on camera, but it's really purple. But I pulled that one out of my stash. So the next one I have was Museum After Midnight, the Lola Crow stitch along. Here's what it will look like up to... Yes, this is up to the 6th exhibit. So the 7th exhibit added in a Triceratops skull, a Thagomizer, and a baby Ankylosaurus that is hatched right there in the front. But I've still been working in the frame in section 1 and 2, which are down at the bottom. And so I put 149 stitches into it, bringing it to here. Let me just pull up my Notion real fast, because this is the one. I almost forgot about this one. It wasn't coming up on my main list. And so I had to go back and add it last minute. So this one has 8,821 stitches, and that's up to Exhibit 5. And so I have now brought it up to 5,076 stitches, which is 42.5% of just up to Exhibit 5. Which I know Exhibit 7 added in like 1,000 stitches. And Exhibit 6 I think was also like 800, so there's a good amount in there. And this is on a 14 count Ada that I hand dyed. So what I did was I went in and I took this little blue color and went in and added it in everywhere it was supposed to be, which is mainly in the center posts of all of the arches, and I put the brown into the shark's mouth and along this creature, and I went down and was finishing off some of the colors in these other ones for the 149 stitches I put in, which was 1 day of stitching, which isn't bad for me. For only getting 1 day on it. And then most of the rest of them I have are for my Darkthorn Keep game. So Darkthorn Keep is a game that I created based off of a game that Jessie Marie Does Stuff has created. Hers is Milestone Manor. So I had done... Each week I spin a wheel and choose 2 projects for Darkthorn Keep. So I only was able to complete 3 of them, with some extra shifts at work that I had to pick up. So the first one is Ears for Elephant by the Tiny Mongoose. So I am choosing to do the little stitchy box, and so that is what it will look like when it is done. And I went in and put in the flowers on the sides here, which doesn't look like much, but that was 120 stitches, and I really did want to keep stitching on this one, and I had to make myself stop. But I also realized that I had thought that I was done with inside the box and was now just working on the flowers outside. And then I realized that I still have half of an elephant to go in that gray. I don't know how I forgot the other half of the elephant. But it is now up to 6,679 stitches. I don't have a total because I'm going off of a paper pattern, and I'm also adjusting the paper pattern. So the next one that I worked on was Dragon's Lair. This one is by, so this is what it will look like when it is all done. So this is artwork by Matt Stawicki, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is now retired. So this one has 291,825 stitches total. I have put in 758 stitches total. This time I put in 104 stitches, and it was all up here in this corner. And then I just went in and took blue and was moving it to the right, and then it was moving it down once it stopped going to the right. So I put in the 104 stitches, which brings me to 0.3%. And this is on a 16 count antique white. And so the next one that I did was Wandering in Middle Earth, the 2024 Stitch Along by Stuart Cunningham. I don't have a photo of what it will look like in the end because it is a Stitch Your Own Adventure. So I have gone in and put the top of the frame into Wind Stitch, so that way I can put it into Pattern Keeper, because it really helped. Because the way he does it, since you can choose your own elements, some elements get swapped out, some elements go over each other, so you kind of have to like decide like what is getting stitched and what is in the foreground. So that's the thing that should be stitched. And so I kept messing up, so I put it into Wind Stitch just so it'd have the whole design, and that has really helped me move forward. So I put in exactly 100 stitches into this, and so I started, and I had a thread left of a gray, and so I put that in down here along the bottom, and then I got out this brown, and I put that in for the windowsill, and then started up at the top, and it was working this log siding that's going to go down the side of the door in. So I put in exactly 100 stitches on that, bringing it to 3,173 stitches out of 12,504. And again, that's only for the amount of stitches that are along the top of the hobbit hole, which is 25.4% of that. This is on a 14 count hand-dyed Ada. And so that was the last of my Darkthorn projects that I was able to complete. I did not complete one project. I really wanted to actually work on that one. I pulled it out. I was all planned for it. I just ran out of time to get around to it. So since it's kind of been a while since I've missed one, I kind of was really looking at that, and I decided that I will use the damage, so that way the next time I'm going to do it, rather than working on a project, I will have to spend one time putting in at least an hour on organizing my room or some of my cross stitch stuff. So it's going to go into organization, and that will help me recover from the damage, and then I can go back into spinning my wheel and exploring rooms. And so then, like I said earlier, I had three projects that had hurt me in June because there weren't enough stitches on them, and so I got hurt for the RPG Character Creator Challenge. And so I put in a bunch of stitches on the Summoner. I put in a bunch of stitches on the Reader earlier in July. And so then I pulled out Year of the Dragon. Here's what it looked like when it was finished. This is by Yasu Art Studio, treaded by Heaven and Earth Designs. And so I really wanted to go in and knock this over the 200 mark. Unfortunately, I was working on this yesterday before work, and it got to the point where I just had to stop and go to work. Which was sad, because I was so close to making it and not having anything count against me. So this ended up being the only project that did count against me. So I brought it up from, I put in 51 stitches, and that brought me up to 173 stitches out of 508,800 stitches, which is still at 0%. This is on an 18 count easy grid, and I was literally 27 stitches away from being able to have this not count against me. So I am definitely planning to make sure that this one gets its 27 stitches next month, because I did put my stitches into the RPG character created challenge. So in the time since my last video, I did 1,342 stitches, which is great for me. What I have done in the month of July is 3,967 stitches. And so I took those and put those into the RPG character created challenge, and went through and I did have 2 finishes, 1 fully finished object, which really helped. I had only the one thing that still hit me for a project that didn't have enough stitches. All of my new starts managed to get enough stitches into them, so that really didn't count against me. And so I had, I want to say like 150 points, and that got me to a 9. Which, if you watch my last couple of videos, I have a 3 for strength and a 4 for dexterity. And a basic regular human is an 8. And I'm a half elf. So that sucks. As I've been telling the people at work, either I'm a child, or I've been very, very sick for a very long time and I've never gone outside and picked up anything. So I was really glad to at least get a 9. I can be at least a basic human level of constitution, which is good, because you kind of need that for your dexterity, or not your dexterity, for your health pool. So I would have liked that to be larger, but at the very least it's not completely horrible, and if I can use my stitching game to get more points for more stitches in the future, that will be really nice, and I'm going to try and make it so that way nothing else hurts me. And so that was the last of the stitches that I did. So I will now just talk briefly about my stitching game, because that is just basically going to be my plans for August. So if you haven't heard me talk about it, I'm doing August August, which, because my Flosstube anniversary will be on August 15th, and I joined Flosstube for the community, and I really liked the community outreach. I decided to do something that would involve the community and bring them in. So I'll have people not choose one of my projects to sponsor, and so then each one of those projects gets 100 stitches from me for the first week. So say you chose to sponsor Wandering Middle Earth, which is still available. I would put in 100 stitches during that first week. Then you can just choose to do that and leave it at that, or if you would like to try and win the game, push your sponsored project further, you would tell me amount of stitches that you got in on one of your projects today. And so you'd say, oh, I worked on one of my projects, I got 200 stitches. So then I will randomly draw names out of a hat and put everybody into a bracket. And then people will face off by the amount of stitches that they reported in that they did. And so then say if you did 200 stitches and the person you were faced against tells me that they did 100, you would move on to the next week's. So the next week's will, all those projects I will put in 200 stitches on. And then on the 8th, I will ask those people to tell me how many stitches they got, and they'll go against the next person in the bracket to move up to round 3. The top third and second place will each receive a pad folio, and first place will receive a pad folio and a project bag. And like I said, each round up, I will be putting more stitches in. So if you have a project that you would really like to see me put a lot of work in, choose it, and you can put some stitches in, and we can see how far it gets. The projects that are still available to be chosen are Debbie's Wedding Piece, Wandering the Middle Earth, The Chase, Magic Book, Steampunk Portal, Dragon's Lair, Penance, Year of the Dragon, E is for Elephant, The Summoner, The Reader, Colorful Jungle Stroll, Happiness, and Tiger with Butterfly. I don't know if I said Animal Crossing. If I said Animal Crossing, that one's already been chosen. So yeah, Debbie's Wedding, Wandering Middle Earth, The Chase, Magic Book, Steampunk Portal, Dragon's Lair, Penance, Year of the Dragon, E is for Elephant, The Summoner, The Reader, Colorful Jungle Stroll, Happiness, and Tiger with Butterfly. And feel free to let your friends know. I'm just really excited about this game. I'm really looking forward to getting it going. So I am going to get off now so I can get some sleep, and then I can get up and I can get my stitching in on my project so I can try and push it forward as far as I can. And I will be back on the 8th to show you all the projects I have put in the 100 stitches on, and tell you all about who has progressed to the next round. And I will see you all then. Bye.